are nearly ready to head to Dust 2, and this map has been the site of G2's biggest successes and some of their most dismal failures. They currently have a 50% win rate on it in the last 12 times they've played it, and yet they continue to pick into it again and again and again, and you can't really blame them given that Nico's only played 2 events with them so far.
Yeah, and they continue to pick it, and then like, they can play really well on it. You can't take that away from them, but as you mentioned, 50% win rate, the stats don't lie. They do lose it when they're not supposed to all the time, and it's not their fault. It's the nature of Dust 2. It's just not complicated enough. The meta cannot go much deeper. We know this by now with certainty, okay? Mid to B split, cat plant. The last major change that happened on Dust 2 was allowing you to plant on the other side of default box so you could do 5 cat strats. That's all we've included into the meta. Okay, they flipped the doors. That's it.
Yeah.
There's not much here, which makes it an interesting prospect to see how well Lollipop can play and if he can really take over a game another time.
Even just like opening the skybox to the B site.
Never mind.
Don't see much of it. Oh, Hunter even switching weapons before he gets that second kill to the scoreboard. We've got a 5v3 for G2. And now we're going to watch the CTs try and claw this one back. But it's a desperate angle. Oh, but it works.
They didn't wait for the smoke.
2 taps with the P2000. Kenny S able to get that bomb back because of the deep smoke. So good thing they had that piece of utility. They didn't use it to get the initial cross. It cost them. They throw it down here to try and ice out this 2 versus 2. Kenny S is going to get a little bit of contact. We've seen Joe with already 2 nice headshots in the pistol round. T's versus CT's. Kenny S could very well make the difference. Nexa's then going to push onto the ramp alongside him. And yes, it's Kenny S with the final 2 frags for G2.
Hey, there was an opening there. There's a chance that Nemiga could get their way back in, but Kenny S playing with confidence is a scary thing. Here's Hunter to get the opening 2 kills and being aware enough. Actually, I think incidentally caught Box off guard. Maybe would have gotten flanked there if he didn't go to upgrade to the USP. Interesting interaction to start things out, but ultimately G2 win. And it's just about rounds now. Pistols may be very important in a game where G2 are lacking a little bit of confidence and Nemiga won a strike.
Gio very close, but Kenny S on high alert there. Goes for the hinge smoke.
Nice punish.
Draws him in and stops him. Early advantage, and it's the biggest weapon that Nemiga had to work with.
Yeah, true. Now behind enemy lines. I don't know if they get away with it. Speedak sitting here, crouched underneath the smoke. Will sit back. So Hunter grabs it. Does he upgrade from a Mac 10? Did he throw his gun away? Don't know where that thing went. Looks like it's going to be a super simple round. 2-1-1 setup here with the remaining 4 Nemiga players. Not doing anything too interesting here. It's the eco setup. They're going to allow G2 to come in with the full force. Cat split, or is it? They're actually coming back to mid. Speedak looks to punish, but Nico's there above him to the left and make sure his teammate doesn't die.
MDS eats a second flash, so that's the one that kind of keeps his head down behind the boxes and gives away, I think, what was a better chance to go for some kind of mid damage. He gets cleared out, and we're watching G2 take that pistol and the conversion with absolute ease. Really, I'd say calling out the individual positions of Nemiga. They had chances. Player pushes through mid doors. Player hides behind B box. But G2 just on high alert, and as they should be after that first map win. Poor guy.
He does not move. Yeah,
Poor
he's
guy.
like, well, that's my fate written on parchment paper. I'm just going to stand here and take it. Maybe if I don't move, they won't hunt me down. But they do. They follow up on the flash. G2 win the round. Bit of damage from the bomb at the end. And they're looking for the 3-0. There won't be a reinvestment here from Nemiga, at least not too heavy. Oh, like to see some utility come into play. And you'd think something a little bit more interesting on that last round from them instead of just playing it like they had rifles, splitting up evenly into the 2-1-2. Now it's heavier presence towards Cat and Long.
Dodges the double frag grenade. So even the utility that Nemiga were trying to use in this one.
This is a really smart thing to have your first heat entry without someone right behind them. And around like this, specifically for the grenades that can get thrown, especially because the best CT spawn can see a T before a T comes out. So if they try to double up on grenades, there might be a T spawn that can get in between the two.
Turned away from the flashbangs, but it wasn't even enough. Nico still gets the assists from them as their vision comes back slowly. Box, nothing to offer us here. So G2 3-0. This Dust 2 half could be a real challenge for Nemiga's CT side.
Looks like it. Looks like it might be, but we'll see what happens when they actually get guns. Yeah. Of course, taking over the game is a bit more difficult on CT side just because you have to sit in your sight sometimes. So it comes down to where Lollipop is. Like if he's the flex player playing car sometimes, game helper into CT spawn, then maybe he can really have a lot of impact. But if he's going to be a B anchor, long anchor, it depends if G2 get the spawns as to whether or not he'll have a lot of opportunities to get kills. You know, as a long anchor, a lot of the time you're just saving even when it's a B hit. You don't come in for the clutch where that would normally be your role because B is such a hard site to retake.
Let's see the purchase, boys. Single op right out the gate.
I think try to keep Lollipop as close to middle as possible and use Speedak as well for that same idea. If they want to go for long control, sure, that might work out well. But then also cat boost to boost over mid to catch this player in suicide sometimes. Slightly aggressive options might work well for them. How on earth does that do 99 damage?
Joe given a second chance at life. If I'm him, I use that utility pretty soon because odds are...
Maybe you should go max out some credit cards and disappear to a deserted island.
Yeah, it's not going to make it much longer.
Is that what you would do, Frankie, if you knew how many days you had left to live?
I would probably eat loads of peanut butter cupcakes.
Yes. That is a great answer.
I spend too much time thinking about like the food I've eaten, whereas if I was going to die, I'm just going to eat as much as I want, to be honest.
Okay, that's one opening. Fast off cat, Lollipop trades 1 for 1, but he gets info, right? He sends this he mails a photo off to his teammates. So you got to see 2 more here, and they look like they were going to go for cat control right after this flash. The bomb is back in spawn holding for pushes, and they're still spreading the map quite evenly. So it might be a false flag for Nemiga, but they themselves aren't overreacting. Speedak now over top of cat. How curious will he get?
Doesn't look like any more curious than this. So G2 moving bodies over towards the B site. Joe is still alive, and it's only now that he's thrown down that smoke grenade. His entire purpose was to throw that smoke and the follow-up molly that is eventually going to get used. We hit the 20-second mark. Nico's looking to take box off of middle, and if he does, that could have been Joe pulled from tunnels. But look at this, the nades are perfect, and MDS laying down the damage. Nemiga's first gun round. What could have been a 5v4 with the first op shot out the gate is instead turned into the CT's victory.
And Joe does live, so nicely played. 4 alive on a much more important round than the first 3. With the op retained, G2 will have to come up with something new. They've done well to keep their economy so well above water, and that'll mean they can also op if they'd like. Kenny S will partake. And he did some early damage in the round last time with a wicked shot through the door, but it didn't result in a kill. And that might have influenced the way that Nemiga played from there on out. Or I should say G2, not having that kill. Again, this full-on stringent default from G2 as they make sure Nemiga don't try anything tricky.
Incendiary down on Cat. It's Hunter on the other side of it. Slight adjustment here from Nemiga, moving box down into the CT spawn. They're going to go for the boost. Now does box pull back?
He should pull back.
Yeah, they could use a helping hand from that CT ramp on A site. 2 smokes from the cat. Here comes the execution. And MDS, he's going to lay down a little bit of utility of his own. Box still has not been able to find any kind of vision.
Wow, this smoke is really cool.
And the T's, well, they linger on. Nico, he is right there on the cusp of it. Nico's going to find a headshot. Speedak, he also already picks one up off of long. So it's not just that one-player test. Speedak giving his back to Amanek, and Hunter's taking heads. Box gets blown off that ramp. Bomb absolutely to be planted. G2 squeezing the A site. 2 players on long door, Launders. That comes in big.
Gotta love Amanek for the ability to both be like a hold W, Mac 10 entry fragger on an eco round, a full rifle, whatever it is. And then also just in the same day turn around and become the hard lurk who knows exactly how to be patient and when to peek out when it's not too late but also not too early. And with that kill, it really just erupts the CT side rotations. They no longer feel safe from any of their positions on the site, and that discomfort is what allows G2 to continue on and get more kills. But man, I love the CT smoke on the site. You could see how it made them uncomfortable at first.
For sure.
It was just a smoke that they right-click over default, and it stops the entire cat split, at least on that portion of the map.
Yeah, stunted their extension around it. And I wonder like how much more confident or how much less confident they would have been to keep going if that smoke was there in addition to a total long A lockdown. But Speedak giving his back to Amanek. A turning point for the commitment onto the A site. Flashbang in his face, smoke at his feet. Kenny S gets curved off of the long doors. Box pushes up, makes sure nobody's already extended out from it. Nico's gonna get challenged here. Lollipop tries to land the nade on his head. Speedak takes to the corner. Good angle for a one and done, but with a player committed to his side, he may stick around for more than just the first. Molotov cancels that setup out. Good utility from G2 to get the CTs off of what they want.
Their intentions are a bit of a mystery. Yes, they're pushing up Cat, and it looks like, oh wow, Speedak. They're trying to see if Speedak is going to give him a fight. He's pushing up to this very same angle. He didn't go farther than this last time, so we'll see if something changes. But the bomb again, back in spawn here on Nexa's back, makes you wonder what they're thinking about if they don't punish anything. And Speedak drops off a much favorable way to take this fight. He'll come back into it. Oh, wow, through the box. Doesn't even waste time trying to get the perfect duel. Instead, just goes for the wall bang and is dead on.
Just extends a little bit more than last time. You saw how long Nico was also just jiggling with it. Hyper-focused for the first headshot. Couple of smoke grenades thrown out to block CT spawn. This would be a 4v2 split for G2 on the B site. Lollipop's gonna try with the spam. Joe behind boxes goes unchecked from Hunter, and MDS cuts off the player towards tunnels. This is a slaughter to the favor of Nemiga. Every single kill goes their way. No further losses. That one looks solid.
And based on the CT positions, that was a great time to go to B. Even though they dropped a player in Nico here on Cat, this was a spot where there was only 2 in B right off the jump. They threw the mid to B smokes nice and quickly. They came out with conviction, but then they just all lose their duels, and that fast long flank comes in at the perfect moment. Really cool from Nemiga to be able to pull that back. And I only say pull that back again because just because there's 4 players doesn't mean that strat shouldn't have worked.
Joe's opening op kill comes from the B window. Little mid lurk. Bit off more than it could chew. See if the cat smash can play to the hands of G2. CT's just chilling back. Nico's gonna take point with that scout. He could deliver a headshot, and there's the first one. Lollipop peeks away from it, using the flash from Amanek as timing. Good cleanup. Man, they lose that first frag. You're thinking to yourself, damn, individual level from G2. But then Nemiga, they had everything in position to just stop that. An additional long player to help Lollipop, and of course, his couple of kills as well. So Nemiga now just 1 away, and seeing as it's pistols for G2, this could be the tied game at the end of the 8th.
I will say one thing G2 have over a lot of teams, that they have like some of the best half buy strats ever. And some of their half buy strats work on their full gun rounds as well. But if they can't get in position to throw nades, things could get interesting. It looks like the B exec is coming quickly. All these nades, continuation flashes, pushing through box. He'll have to try to win this duel. Oh my goodness, that's a player down in the B site.
Nice
yes,
frag.
There's damage, but the site has been taken. The plant goes down.
Another one.
And what are the guns here?
An op.
The op, yeah.
Yeah, Kenny S is going to start fighting into middle. it was the frag grenades that got the 2 kills back for Nemiga. Oh, all 3 players that have died this round from G2 entirely by way of utility. And Kenny S, well, he's looking to stop this train, stop this retake, stop this final attempt from the CTs. They're going to challenge out through the door. He sees Box just sprinting beyond the car. Box, with his back turned, gives Kenny S all he needs. 3 kills for Kenny and a 5th round for G2.
It's a good strat. And then, again, they make these strats that they actually use on full rifle rounds as well. That is really cool. I mean, it's a fast B hit. I think this has something to do with some of the same nades that Navi uses. It's just the continuation flashes, now that they've opened up the ceilings, has made a whole new world for B execs, and they're only starting to be used a lot more recently.
All of Nemiga's T-round wins were bomb explosions. All of G2's were eliminations on Mirage. Because they couldn't get the bomb down.
Yeah, because they could never plant. That's interesting. Yeah, that first half of the round was where they kept falling apart. Like, could not win in the default, could not win the opening kill, and could certainly not get in the sights.
It's interesting you mentioned about the skybox now being used on B, because I remember interviewing players a long time ago, because was it nearly a year ago they made that update to the skybox? Obviously, the door's much more recent.
That's how few updates we get. That
yeah.
stands out brightly in our minds.
Thanks, Gabe. And I remember talking to the players and just thinking, so how has this changed the way that you're approaching B? And they were like, oh, we haven't done anything with it.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of teams didn't utilize it.
But I think Navi came up with like best B exec that a lot of people are using, and they use the flashes just beautifully. G2 as well is one of those teams, lots of ingenuity where it's hard to find on Dust 2. And it looks like another very successful start to the round for them. The rotating CTs are trying to find a home. They're nomadic at this point. They're not holding on to any choke points on A, not sitting behind any boxes, just free roaming, hoping that it's going to be some kind of late round B hit. But as we can see, that's not the intention of G2. Why were they called Gamers 2?
Because
why did they do that?
Carlos, the
Why
young
Carlos?
Spaniard back in the day. I guess the 2 thing was a meme, but they were gamers, and now he absolutely hates you saying it.
Yeah, I noticed, and he should. It was terrible. They went through a huge identity, so many logo changes, name changes.
This one's sick.
I honestly thought they were losers at first. Now they're like one of the dopest brands in gaming, like in esports.
I mean, they sometimes play into that loser thing, though. I mean, Carlos ain't afraid of spandex, so.
Yeah, true. President Carlos.
Yeah, we could all learn a lesson from him.
We could.
Next is going to go get his bomb plant. Easy does it in this one. Nemiga, obviously, they still have a lot to lose, so hang on to it. That's their attempt at anyways. Who's going to come hunting? I think G2, they definitely smell the blood in the water here.
But it isn't a scout. Joe is holding a very deep angle. Well, somewhat deep. Don't mean to over-exaggerate. It's kind of deep. It's not a hard right angle, but they're not peeking him either. I don't know if they come for this or not. But look at the CT spread. They've got a setup no one's ever talked about here in the playground.
I don't even know what you really call this position.
They're covering everything. That's why Joe can stand out here with complete confidence that he can't get flanked because of how much he just got like the secret service covering everything else behind him. But no duel takes place.
What do you call that? Outer tunnels? It's like the dead zone.
I just call it all playground. It's just one
all
big
playground. Okay.
Yeah.
One big playground.
Soccer ball and pitbull?
Football.
Oh, football. Oh, right.
Football, man.
Oh, football ball. Right.
The American football isn't round. It's not a ball.
People are like, American football. Yeah, we play sport that you can't win without your feet. It's like, you cannot win American football without your feet either. Okay? Both need feet.
We all need feet.
I won't have any feet after standing on socks all day.
We're hanging in. So is Box. He's got Speedak to try and distract away from him. Eats the flashbang, pops the op shot. They try to clear the corner. And Box takes one with him. Speedak back onto the angle. Hunter, he's coming out from catwalk, so Speedak, he's getting attacked from both directions. Oh, misses the flick over. That could have been a stunning shot and an attempt to hold it all on his own. But now he's going to need his teammates to deliver. Joe and MDS, both over on the catwalk. Bomb crossing. And Incendiary thrown, flashbang to follow suit. They're going to challenge before bomb is ever planted, and it doesn't bode well. Headshot versus MDS leaves Joe on the save. He's going back to the playground.
Liar.
Damn.
He didn't take the left, yeah. Okay, into the B site. That was a very clean round from G2, and things just look a lot more well-tailored to the map here, and would just kind of... Maybe there's just a bit more credence for the opponents as well. I mean, certainly Nemigas have earned their respect at this point.
Yeah, you can't not respect Lollipop, can you? Yeah. Carlos is writing up a contract as we speak.
You might... Yeah, how much for Lollipop? That's like it's going to be his first tweet. You do have to have respect for his skills. His skills pay the bills.
Big kill from Hunt. Dude, look how quickly
Barely
he
stopped.
Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if he doesn't kill Lollipop that quickly, then SpeedAx's not as pressured to look away from long doors, where he was looking to deliver more kills. It's because, I mean, you see Lollipop's reaction. That is not a composed reaction.
As a player who loves to win.
Yeah, doesn't instill confidence in SpeedAx. He knows it is a high alert that he has to be on. And Kenny S finding Joe over on the long corner. How about a cat push? It's minimal.
Okay.
But it's something. 3 players about to hit Hunter, or does he hit them? Flash comes out from G2, doesn't blind any of them. Hunter is pissed. Aminx dead. This is 2 kills coming out of the CTs. Kenny S's frag grenade, a little more effective than the flash that came before it. Nico, he's going to take a bit of damage, but he's fine.
Okay.
He's fine. G2, they're looking good. 8-3 inevitable at this.
I don't want to give Nemiga a round for this. I want to take a round away from G2 for this. How do you throw a flash with all the space in the world, designated to turn the corner on Cat, and nobody on Nemiga is even playing anti-flash, and it doesn't blind anybody? Where did that flash land? That's what I want to know.
Into the void.
Or into the void.
Yeah.
Into the void.
He just threw it directly up and said, yo, peek this as a joke.
Just blinks out of existence.
Sometimes I'll tell my teammates, yo, I'm flashing, I'll throw a nade.
Oh, it's like telling your teammates that the last guy's lit.
Yeah,
Just
last
hit
guy's
90.
lit. Yeah.
It's to instill confidence.
Yeah, if I hit them once, they're
I'm
lit up.
doing you
lit
a
up.
favor with a call like that.
Yeah, definitely.
At least you tell your teammates you're flashing.
That's-
None of mine do.
Box is going to eat a flash, and MDS dodges it. He picks up the first kill. It's Aminx down on the entry. Trade's looking good enough for Nemiga. MDS could extend. He's got 2 more players in the tunnels, but Hunter not going to let him succeed. Box answers back. Minute 20. The bomb's dropped in the open. Kenny S shaving Lollipop off of the windowsill. We're going to get a chance as well here, because Nico, he's going to pop down into the CT spawn.
This
Could have found SpeedAx, but now he's worked through doors.
This is a very interesting mid-round because the CTs are going to be pushing up, getting info. This is good for them. They'll have the bomb. They won't see Kenny S. The time starts to change where, okay, they're going to hear him now at mid. This is obviously purposeful just to try to bait them into pushing tunnels, but they haven't done that yet. And now Nico will move up, and depending on where Nico peeks this from, he could have an advantage. SpeedAx, he's not prepared. Okay, he'll quickly adjust. Look very sharp there. If it had to be a flick, seemed like it'd be dead on. 38 seconds. The pressure starts to mount here for Nemiga. They feel the need to make a move. SpeedAx, he's just out of the sight. He'll start to move in. There's an opportunity for Nico to come in, and SpeedAx gets ripped to shreds through the wall, but he's still alive. Oh.
And yes, time to creep out. 15 seconds trying to bait some shots, and sure enough, SpeedAx hones in on him. Nemiga win a round. It's been a little while. It's been a little while. We've had a little back and forth affair here, 2 rounds at a time. Let's see if the CTs can keep it up.
I love how this round was, let's go B. Oh, shoot, they got us. Let's go back. Oh, shoot, Hunter got a kill. Let's go B again. Until every CT is there throwing every single nade into the tunnel, and the last player on the T side, and Nico's on the other side of the map.
Long smash. Hunter's going to charge headstrong through the doorway to potentially challenge Pit. Nemiga wasted no time falling all the way back. They weren't looking to die here on this hill because they have a fortress that they can defend.
Without long control in this position, they're, feeling pressure here on Cat, but they have a very good setup with this op and have already made so many early progress. Very prudent from Nemiga to have gotten to this position. This Xbox smoke will give SpeedAct confidence as well. You think they might be aware of this, but they rely on the flash. That's such a great setup to catch him and damage him for falling back. I think that the Xbox smoke actually baits him into staying longer.
Lollipop, I like this aggression. It's right on the side of the smoke. Sees the shadow, but can do nothing about it other than a little damage. Joe's gonna get pressured from two directions, and this trade train between Nico and Nexa works out quite well. MDS, he could kill Nico with a single bullet. Amanek also dinked. 3 of the 4 players from G2 could be pushed over by a stiff breeze. But it's with ease, it seems. G2 will take this round. SpeedAct gonna shave Kenny S off of this, but he has to hide as that bomb is planted, and he is as tagged up as the other 2 players from G2. This is a 9th off the T side. They are still very much gunning for the double digits on the offense. And SpeedAct, he may not even be able to keep this op, but at least he kills Hunter for now.
Trade comes out. What a great round from G2. The way that they got that, they dealt with the pressure beautifully. Nemiga were in the perfect spot off of the long hit that G2 partook in. And it's from this moment where 2 trades come down that you just cannot account for. Your guy at mid who's trying to help out your Operon Cat, and they both simultaneously die to the peaks. Last of 2 rounds with Nemiga on pistols, and they look to challenge versus this long setup right now. It seems like they'll flash through the smoke, and SpeedAct will take a peek, but his teammate dies first, and he will turn tail and run.
Lollipop to a quarter health. No, looked like he was going for the boost up. Good thing he didn't. Comes back down to help out his players in mid. Now they've got a Mac 10 to work with.
I feel like G2 in this moment take a long time, but really should just move quickly, right? Rotations can come in, but CTs without too much map control are going to think about rotating. But now at this point, yeah, they've already made so much progress here. They're just overstacking the site. When you cross the long doors and you don't have options open with even a single player outside the back of the tunnels or anywhere else on the map, it's very unnerving, the thought of going back out there. And Nemiga are hoping that this is how they feel and are going to commit later on in the round. And it seems like so far they're going to be rewarded. What would have been a good thing to have in place early on is someone that's spotting the cross back from mid. But instead, the duels happen a bit early.
Molly on the feet of Joe. Smoke grenade for the cross. Amanek catching him through it. Still a gap, of course, for the moment. And even after that follow-up smoke grenade, MDS has a little minute angle to work with, but he's got himself only the hand cannon, and the bomb plant has been found. G2, a 10th round on this T side. Very much looking in form. Very much looking like they could take an 11th. And this is not the Nemiga we originally had. Punish pick.
Ooh, Nemiga. 8-18 on Dust 2 in the last 6 months, and the highest rated team they've beaten has been Sprout, who ironically they replaced in this quarter.
Yeah, right.
So G2 might as well be playing Sprout right now.
Oh no. G3SG1.
Do you remember all of the numbers and letters and stuff?
I try my best.
It's not on the screen anywhere. You didn't cheat, did you?
Nope.
That's pretty impressive.
You know why? Because you get that bad boy in danger zone more than
like
you use it in competitive.
a very strong gun in danger zone.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, an underutilized gun in competitive as well.
No, because if you use it too much,
Maybe not the T sides.
people start thinking poorly of you.
That's true. Image is everything.
Oh,
and
Box.
Box.
He just looked away.
Ah,
He
terrifying
had
image
the
for him.
crosshair placement. He could have at least taken down a player with him. Now all of a sudden it's Lollipop or nothing. He's going to lay down the incendiary flashes for his peak, and the T's smoke this off. This time they're going to make sure they don't leave any sort of a gap, and also the double flash to deny Lollipop any vision. MDS has got himself into a better position, and then he even goes one further with Joe's flashbang. That was 3 flash assists, 2 of which on his teammates. He goes wide, gets the headshot, but the frag grenade seals the deal. An 11-4 lead for G2.
don't want to argue anymore. I can't stand when you...
They've got their hands full, Nemiga, and they've got themselves a little bit of utility for what will be a crucial second pistol round of a second map that looked like they were going to draw first blood. G2, they stood up, they spat it out, and they punched them back in the head on that Mirage game.
Wow.
Overtime
That's
was their key, and I don't know if we're going to get a second OT. I don't know if we're going to get a third map. But I look forward to seeing some of the individuals maybe pop off. Lollipop, 11 kills for his team at the top of the scoreboard on that side. But he has a heavy-handed and hot G2 ahead of him. So we shall see how much fight they've got left.
Once referred to as Nico Sports, moved on to a lineup with a lot more talent. And on G2, it's also a talent with tons of lineup, but still has found a place to shine and really can take over the game sometimes here on here on Dust 2, and he is putting on a show for us right now as we speak. Nico with 2, Kenny S with 2 as well. Kenny S will find the third, 2 and 3 between the two. Pretty nice shots sitting there at the fast cat boost.
5 USP headshots. Simple as that, man.
They wish they could kind of pool their money together, get some head armor to survive this round.
12-4.
19 and 4. Kenny S.
Man doesn't die. Fortunately, it's starting to feel like Lollipop has to do it all. Like he is the win condition. That pistol round, he was the 5th player to find contact, and everybody else died for free.
I feel like he's got the Childish Gambino story of, yeah, I put my name into a Wu-Tang Clan name generator and came out with this.
Lollipop 21K?
Yeah. MySpace random name generator.
It's not even Lollipop K21.
No, it's 21,000.
Oh. Well, now I get it.
Why not 22,000, eh?
Why not 20? Why not 24? Then it could be carrots. It could be a gold lollipop.
Ooh.
You guys sound hungry.
I've just had a toffee chew. I'm good.
I have had Counter-Strike for breakfast.
It's not very nutritious, is it?
No, but it's a hell of a rush. Joe looking with the Deagle to find something through the smoke. It's a matter of time before Amanek comes challenging through this, I'd think. Unless Hunter feels the heat of this mid play, and there it is. Amanek extending for that deep position because knowing, ooh, Tech9, Deagle, and another Lollipop. Oh, and through the smoke,
Talk
dude.
to him, MDS.
Pistols pay off for Nemiga. It is never too late to fight tooth and nail, and I think that same message needs to be drilled into Nexa as he attempts this final 1v2. He doesn't have a kit. He's throwing the incendiary over towards the car.
He's gonna know.
MDS so low, the peak comes out, and that's enough of that. Box ends it. Nemiga's force buy works out.
I love that Box doesn't wait to get peeked in that spot. Comes out first. Some great shots here, man. I actually love the protocol by Hunter first, though. Up in the window, jump spot, sees one, and then it seems like he doesn't notice, but then you see him jump up, and he uses the nade to bounce in the window, lands perfectly on his opponent, and he mows down another. And you can use the cover of the nade smoke as well to assist with that peek. And Amanek comes through with the push in tunnels, too, so you think it's all over. But again, these great shots being hit by the ecoing team.
Go for the boost, Nico. But they're met by resistance. A Molotov.
You know the French love a good resistance.
Yeah. Your French accent's getting better.
I am French, okay. Go back on the passport.
Deagle. Good for Nico and Nexa.
Oh!
And the next one, Joe, blown away. And suddenly, just like that, we've got G2 with the double man advantage. I think they're a little frustrated by the fact they lost that last round. There are guns to be collected. The fruits of their labor.
Take your pick. Whatever skin he'd like. Kenny is trying to join in on the fun, and he'll have a tiny bit, but MDS comes out for the trade. CTs are hot on his heels. Some good nades, and the right sight means that he could potentially get a post-plant situation. Maybe even a kill before that. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Amanek doing a good job of dodging him. He's going to go for the reload, getting pressured from the window. Eats that flashbang, and G2 bounce back. No guns needed. Nexa delivering 2 kills with the Desert Eagle.
The guardsman on the catwalk, particularly Nexa, the warden.
I feel like Nexa with a Deagle on catwalk is
Iconic.
iconic. That seemed like a game of Clue. Nexa with the Deagle on the catwalk. Who did he kill? Everybody.
It's a quick game of Among Us. Right there. Lurk smoke into the B. Into the end of B. Almanac will play close to it. Again, we saw what the protocols are for them. Liking to push tunnels, using him in that way. Hunter taking care of mid alongside Nico. Kovac. Bros. I learned 2 things about that. Number 1, Kovac is apparently the correct way to say it. And also that in Serbia, you consider your cousins your brothers, and they actually consider each other brothers.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
I consider you a brother.
Well, you're wrong.
We're not even cousins.
Imagine like Hunter looked over to Nico one day and said that.
No.
Well, that's a one-way street.
This should be. Amanex laying down the damage. Pistol player stranded. And sure enough, Box will be given a chance to slip out. He has lost his final teammate. Hunter, staying true to his name, comes flying down for the frag. Nice little 90-degree snapback into the head of Amanek. And Amanek. And
You're going to need the almanac
yeah.
to figure out what animal Amanek is.
14-5, my friends.
I can't see the Nemiga coming back now.
No?
I think J2 have laid the slap down, and I think that they're feeling themselves right now. Kenny X is turning up. Nico and Hunter have got things sorted out, and Nexa, we don't need to say anything more, really.
Yeah. I think you need a microscope to see the odds.
Microsoap.
A microscope?
You gotta wash
You need
away
a
the
small
dirty
bar of
screen, man.
soap to be able to clean your mouth, okay? When you interrupt me, correct me, my bad English. You need a microscope to see the odds of Nemiga winning this game. Or maybe a telescope. It's such a long shot.
They've been given the gift of mid. But Hunter, he's just waiting. He's invested into this himself. Going for the window peek off of the flash. He won't find anybody because there's a moment of hesitation here from Nemiga. They're not trying to follow up on it just yet. As they extend, they walk into Kenny S, and they realize the error of their ways. Quick, it's a trap! Hunter, 3 kills. Easy anti-eco spray down. A 15th round for G2 at this point. We're talking 10 a match points.
Oh,
Okay.
poor. Yeah. Poor little MDS. P250. No skin on hand. 2 CTs coming up from the back. One up front. MDS. This is a one-on-one, but Nexa will win. Match point for G2. It's looking a lot better, just for the sake of G2, because now the storyline becomes, you know, G2 as we move forward in the tournament. When we talk about their next match, we're going to talk about this one to contextualize it. How good did they look versus Nemiga? How good was their Mirage? What's their kind of mindset like? Are they feeling and looking comfortable? Well, I'd say feel a bit better now. Feels like they were looking a bit rusty at first, but again, now more comfortable. And it's going to be a huge clash at long to potentially end it.
Joe's going to trade. Hunter, though, he slips beyond the smoke up from pit. Man advantage and 2 guys stranded. It's not going to stop MDS nor Box. They are fighting tooth and nail for long control. Take a quick look up at your radar and look at all them X's. There's no O's. Now Lollipop soon to know that B site open for the taking. Box just spotted a CT at the base of mid, not that he was seen the other way. We're going to find ourselves in a 2v2 post plant. And G2, I mean, they're inevitably going to go for the retake, so I like Lollipop's thinking here as opposed to sitting on site. Take a little control. And he's going to take them both. Doesn't even need the plant. Finds G2 mid-rotation. Nemiga, 6th round on the board.
Things do get a little bit more interesting. Surprised they survived the bout at long. With that much pressure, CTs looked comfortable holding the outsides of the smoke as they ran through. But Nemiga lived to fight another day. Just a full AK buy. We're going to get the NOA boost at mid to catch anybody coming up cat or even jumping up on Xbox. And there are a couple of Ts here, one carrying the bomb with eyes forward on potentially taking this presence. However, off of this timing, slightly incorrect for G2. They'll drop a nade in response, fall back off the boost, and get punished for doing so because they made noise. They could have had it all.
Listen, G2, they were given 4 map points to face off of.
Oh my god, what's happening there at long?
Nemiga just trying to go 1 better. In fact, go 5 better. Joe, patience in the corner, gets wide swung by Amanek. Nexa could very well kill MDS if he comes out from this, but he reveals his position. Kenny S. Oops. That was an accident. Now all of a sudden he's the only A player, but the bomb is going back tunnels to B. I like this. Nemiga, they're just slipping that bomb into an open B site 2 rounds in a row.
And how could you not believe it's going to be B? They're holding for the long flank. There's a player here. There was one up on Cat. And look how quickly Nemiga have made a decision. The CTs are stuck on this side of the smoke. There's even one in the door. Fast flank will come in from Almanac, but it's pretty much the only player moving anywhere close to the bomb site. Nemiga's T rounds, some points, are cool for this reason. They do a good job of keeping their options open. Face to face. This is where you should play the music, right? No chance of the retake.
Production disagrees.
Apparently.
Amanek not going to let Lollipop stay standing. Bomb blows up. Nemiga with a 7. 8 more map points to go.
That's what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
That was very subtle.
Little stuff
Don't
of
do
face
that.
to face.
Don't gaslight me.
Wait, I didn't hear anything.
We just learned what that word meant. I know you're gaslighting me.
I would never.
Connor doesn't know what good music sounds like. That's why he couldn't hear anything.
Are you kidding?
Wouldn't
I
know
listened to
good
Miley
music to hit you in
Cyrus on
face,
the way
bro.
over here.
Well, this one's going to be a climb, right? 8 rounds back.
7 things you love about Nemiga. Go.
That's never good when the first one is
That's all I know about mine.
not 5 and then it's just Lollipop 21K. Oh, Kenny S when he hits shots.
Not like this.
Looking clean. Yeah, it could be. Could be.
No, not
It
like
could be.
this.
It could be. Oh, it's not. Okay, Lollipop 21K. You can believe in him. This boost, they can't go one step further without getting caught off guard. And MDS, he's going to know that someone had to help him up there. You cannot climb in this game.
It is all on Kenny. Kenny at the B side is everything for the moment. He's looking away from the flashbangs. It goes beyond him. Lollipops in the corner, comes out. Kenny catches him through the smoke and the flick to end this. G2 take the series 2-0. And I would say a crucial win because now, as you said, as this tournament continues, yeah, Nemiga, they're not eliminated yet. But G2, as we go to their next games, we're no longer talking about this potential upset as an exclamation mark, but rather just an asterisk of a first map. It was a slower start, wasn't quite there. 2-0 in the end.
We know G2 have their slow starts, though. It's the thing. They wanted to keep up the trend. They're fashionable people. We'll hopefully be speaking to one of them after this break. always have questions about how G2 are going to play Dust 2, but those questions were very much put to bed in the match against Nemiga. They got it done 2-0 after quite the traumatic map of Mirage. And what really changed with G2 on this one? Was it simply a confidence thing, or was it Nemiga not really knowing how to play that C2 side?
I think it was a confidence thing, just from the position of conditioning. They just did everything a bit more standard at first. They played their own game, and then I think just went from there and let the confidence roll on more naturally. It felt like a Mirage. They maybe tried to skip a few steps, maybe didn't have as much credence for Nemiga in both halves, which was the most confusing part. I don't know what they would say exactly. Some of that stuff is hard to see from the outside, but that's what it felt like more to me, at least.
Well, should we ask them? Because I think
Sure.
we might be ready to talk to Gio. Oh, yes, here we go. I say, every time the phone rings, I'm like, oh, I'm popular. Let's get him on the line. Hello, Gio. Thank you, first of all, for joining us. That was...
Hello.
Hello. That was a much closer first map than we on the desk expected. Can you tell me how you managed to almost outplay G2?
We always feel comfortable on Mirage. I can't say that on Dust, but we did our best. That's all.
On Mirage, it came really, really close. Of course, maybe you should have won. Can you talk a bit about the T-side overall strategy of doing a lot of dry runouts and stuff like that? Was this something specifically you wanted to do versus G2? Is it something you normally do? And why do you think it was working so well?
On Mirage, we don't play pretty much like execute, so we play on communication. We just talk together, do something together, and that works always.
Lollipop, he has been out of the server with you guys for over a month. How was it to have him back, and why do you think it was, from the get-go, brilliant?
It was really hard to play without Lollipop because he's doing so much impact for us. And today, when he was playing, we felt like we are much stronger with him. So he brings some fresh air for us today.
Do you think he's better with a broken hand or without a broken hand?
He is always beast.
No matter what.
I don't doubt that. And before you go, Gio, this must be the biggest tournament that you guys have played in as a roster. What are your expectations for your next match? Do you think you've got a chance of continuing in the group stage?
I think we can win. We just need to feel more comfortable and just have more confidence in our plays. That's all. If we don't have it, we're gonna lose. But I hope we bring some confidence next game.
I hope so too. And in fact, I just want to ask you one more thing. Coach Keeper, is he the next big AWPer of the CIS region?
We had no choice, so we should have played with Keeper. He did pretty good. Communication was on point from him. He was calling some things, and we won those 3 rounds, by the way. He didn't lose single one, so
He's undefeated.
unbeatable.
Yeah. Undefeated versus G2. Something to think about.
I could make a joke about not swapping Speedak back in, but once Speedak was back on the server, he did actually kind of nearly bang G2 out. So thank you so much for talking to us, Gio, and good luck in your next match.
Thank you. Thank you.
I like that he's got feedback for his coach as a player.
Yeah.
Right, he's already assessed the situation.
So
The
true.
communication was good. Could have been a bit better on timing. Like, if ever they need somebody else.
Crosshair placement positioning, but otherwise great player.
Yeah.
I also really loved when we were watching the game, just every time that we saw the player cams from Nemiga, they were all having an absolute blast.
Yeah, I mean they were winning rounds with him, right? Why not? Why not have fun? I mean, you're thinking to yourself like, yeah, you have to try and keep your hopes up. You don't want to see the reality of a coach in the server and not at least just try to make the fun of it, right? It wasn't permanent. They ran with it. It worked.
Yeah. I want to just have a quick look at the stat line as well. So yeah, Kenny S really came alive on Dust 2. Hunter second in the server. Nico not far behind. Nico actually took on more opening duels than Hunter did.
Which is interesting. Yeah, at first it was a lot of opening duels by Hunter, and then it was like kind of first half Hunter, second half Kenny S. Nico was there. He got outplayed a couple of times, but we saw that pistol from Nico. He was definitely looking a little bit more comfortable. And he's just always going to have significant impact no matter what at the end of the game. If the game got closer, who knows? But since it's like a 16-5 or whatever, is like harping on individuals doesn't really matter.
Let's take a look at how this has affected the Group B bracket. I also want to see the result from Furia North, if that's come in. Yes, it has indeed. So G2 will be facing Furia in the upper bracket. I'm just trying to find out. So Nemiga, I had to look to the left, guys. I don't even know how to read a bracket. Nemiga versus North. Scrawny, I want to know, who do you think is going to win that one?
I think Nemiga could genuinely do it. It depends on how deep their map pool is going to get and how the veto goes down. Don't get me wrong, but Lollipop showed me that he can go toe-to-toe with G2 on an individual level. Yes, they heated up as a team, and Lollipop still did top frag in that second map for his team, but they were all just sort of outclassed there. I don't think that North versus Nemiga is a clear result for North, and anybody who says it is probably just a fan of the Danes.
They've had an identity exodus, losing MSL and AZ. Maybe down the line it'll be for the best, but of course there should be some growing pains in the downtime.
I want to pose the question, have North ever had an identity?
Yes, they did. It just wasn't a good one. Yeah, I think they like, I guess what you're alluding to is the amount of roster changes that they've had.
Yeah, and also I just don't think of them, I guess. Yeah. That sounds awful. That's probably the way you, like, just when someone says, oh, do you miss them? I don't think about them. Like, I don't think about North, and I feel like the brand MSL is brand MSL. I don't see it as brand North.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. That pretty much was North, right? Micromanager, IGL, he was opping on the team. He was actually top fragging a lot of the recent matches, which is actually a bad thing, I'd say, considering you're hiring talent around you. But that really did kind of suck up all the air in the room, in a sense. And if they didn't win, or if they did, it was kind of down to MSL in a lot of ways. So yeah, I guess that's for me. I do conflate the brand with his brand.
I do really want to look at that match. So hopefully I'll get a chance to watch it later, at least look at the stats, because I want to see how Christou did, because last time he was in the roster in DreamHack Masters Spring, he wasn't able to prime Europe. MSL kept hold of that role, and maybe if he let Christou do what he does best, we might have seen a different result from them. And I think for Christou, it's going to be a little bit of time to bed into the roster, because when he played with AGF over the last few days, I keep mentioning DreamHack Open, but guys, I hosted something. I'm very proud of it. He did really show what he could do as he came into his own. Sometimes he disappeared, but actually, I do believe in AGS. I was really excited by some of the individuals on that roster. Well,
MSL's got some history at DreamHack Masters with the ops, so good.
That is true. I think we might have another interview.
Let's do it.
I'm psychic. The phone is ringing. I don't have to stare at it any longer, because I think we got Nico on the line.
Yes, you do. Hello.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're always fine when you win, yeah?
Yeah, you didn't look fine after you won Dust 2. What was that conversation like?
I didn't seem fine after we won.
No, you
Mirage.
I think.
Mirage.
Oh, Mirage. I'm so sorry, not
Mirage.
Dust 2. I mean, you won both maps, but after the first one, you were either really desperate for the toilet or you just were not happy with the team. I can't tell.
No, it was just like it was a very hard game, so we started like very slow in the second half, so it was just like intense game. So that's why, I mean, I expected us to win anyway, so I didn't like show too many emotions throughout the match. So yeah.
Did you actually expect to win though? Because there are points where I feel like you probably didn't, given the performance that Nemiga were putting on.
I mean, like after the first half, I was like, okay, we are gonna win. Like we had a sloppy start, like we lost a couple of rounds as CT. Then once we got it rolling, like we managed to like get 5-6 rounds in a row. And then like going to T, I think we won pistol and forced buy. I was like, okay, that's it. Now we have it then. And then we just went back to doing some weird stuff that we thought that we didn't practice. Like our execution was very bad late round. Like we couldn't get reflex. We didn't go together. It was just like we weren't taking initiative. Basically, we just showed them like so much respect that they could do anything they wanted, and I lost every single duel to Lollipop as well on Ace, which didn't help. So
yeah,
as soon as we like started playing more explosive, as soon as we started playing more explosive and like going together in the side, like that's what kind of worked for us.
Yeah, I thought Lollipop was quite good. I actually wanted to ask you about that in the first half. Just a small question: when it came to the A-ramp walkouts and runouts, you expected it to happen, or did you just think they were going to stop trying it? And what actually went wrong there when trying to stop him from coming out?
Yeah, we didn't expect them to do it that often, because obviously, like when you do it so many times, like it's about time you change, right? I think like what affected us a lot, but which was bad by us, is this like pauses and tactical and technical, and then we're just like we run around and we lose one, then we're like, okay, maybe we should do that. Then like we lose the focus on that guy, and then they just come up and surprise us every time. But I think we adapted pretty quickly, and that's why we got the 8 rounds in the end. But we didn't expect them to do it that often. And if we adapted even faster, I think it would have been a clean half by us. But yeah.
I also had another question, just about a higher level question about the team and how you're organizing and fitting into the roster. Because so far, it's just like you start out so well into the roster, fit in. You guys have had good results. How do you have the conversations about who gets what spot? Is it Hunter who is like, hey, you can take this spot here, or Nexa who's like, I want you to play here? Are you saying like, this is my favorite spot, I'd like this here? How do you guys deal with who gets what spots?
I think like once I got into the team, it's like on the City side, it's basically I got every spot that I played before, but it's also the spot that they needed, right? Like thing is, Nexa was playing the spots that I play right now, but he's not used to those spots. Like he's more kind of an anchor, so he moved back to being an anchor. Like Mirage A side does too long, so I just took his spots, which benefited the both of us. But I think like the one who sacrificed the most is probably Amanek. So like me and like Hunter, I think has pretty much all the spots that he had before. Maybe just like few, like couple, like just maybe one change on Dust to like I'm going from lower and he's going like from top mid in the defaults. But I think like Amanek has sacrificed the most, and next I just went back to the roles that he used to play like in the beginning of G2 and like in Crazy and like all his previous lineups.
So it sounds like you and the team are pretty comfortable with the changes that had to be made to slot you in, but your slotting in aren't the only changes. What's the process, or like how's the process going rather with the whole Jax Amanek situation now that Amanek's back in?
I mean, it's going good. Like we like had really good like 5 or 6 days of practice with Amanek, and we did everything that we could to prepare as much as we can with Amanek. I cannot talk anything like who is gonna keep playing or not. Like that's not up to me. But for now, we're gonna be playing Amanek for this event, and yeah, it's still trying out position, but it's very hard to say who is gonna stay as a 5th. I would say
It's up to Carlos, for sure.
It is up to
pretty
Carlos.
much.
Wow, I'm
It's always
sure
up to him.
it is always up to Carlos. Is he a good taskmaster? Do you like being bossed by
Yeah.
Carlos?
Yeah, it's good so far. I really enjoy being in G2, and yeah, it's been a great beginning. Like they took good care of me ever since I joined.
Literally kidnapped him.
Yeah, I was going to say, blink twice and you're being held
Besides
hostage.
that,
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Hunter. I nearly called you Hunter then. Hunter's cousin. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in the next match.
all right, see ya, guys.
Take care.
Always a pleasure.
You know what?
Almost called him Hunter, fell back on Hunter's cousin. I love that.
Yeah. Have you ever had like a player turn up in one of your dreams? No.
Couple.
Tell us about your Nico dream.
He was totally in my dream the other day, and so like it happened to me with
Did he
another
top
player
frag?
before. I'm not gonna make the other joke. And so sometimes it's really awkward for me if like a player's turned up in my dream just like in the cameo, and then I have to interview them, and I'm just like, oh, and then I have to put the dream out of my mind. This is the weirdest excuse I've ever made in
keep the
public.
camera on her.
So we are going to take a short break while I drink some ice cold water, and we'll be back in about, I think it's probably going to be about 40 minutes or so with our next matchup. It's going to be Cloud9 versus ENCE, more like 50 minutes. We'll see you then.